Going on, y'all, man? Back again. It's your man Jeff. Twitter, PhillyFrack215.
Yo, man, it's Carl, man, a.k.a. Pastor Carl Day. On Twitter, just as it states, man, Pastor Carl Day, C-A-R-L, last name Day, D-A-Y. The only pastor / podcaster, sports podcaster in America, man. And if I'm not the only one, I'm the best one. So, there's that, man. So, look, man, we back at it again, man. Troll Free Sports, shaking things up a little bit today. We may even trickle a little NBA in there, man. We want to discuss our reactions to player rankings. We see a few rankings out here, man. NFL top 100, gain some buzz and some disagreements, which they all will do. And also other lists, man. PFF releasing theirs, man, and they're kind of notorious for their
grading system, whatever they do.
But their foolishness sometimes. But yeah, man. So we're gonna talk about some of that stuff, man, and even talk a little NBA, man. Just a little craziness that's going on with that, man. And we looking forward to doing that, man. So again, man, we appreciate y'all, man. More
hits coming through.
Yeah, more hits coming through, man. More people checking us out. So we definitely appreciate y'all for that, man. Thanks for the love with that. Continue to tell somebody, man, because again, as the season approaches, it's just going to continue to get better. Right. It's just going to get better. You know what I mean? Like, we definitely going to give you more real takes on what's going on. As the season approaches, we'll be getting into our season predictions and everything else, man. But yeah, so we want to talk about this, man. We want to talk about, Jeff, what you want to do, man? You want to talk about NBA first and then finish up on that?
Yeah, because, I mean, that's that's what's really on, that's popping right now. I mean, NBA, a lot of moving and shaking, or reportedly moving and shaking. But the Chris Paul, the Houston move was a big deal. I wasn't expecting. I thought he was just going to meet with Houston, but they said him and Harden was talking, and they came to the agreement that they wanted to play together. So they said Chris Paul went to his meeting with the Clippers and was like, "Look, I'm going to sign with Houston, so
y'all better get a chance to get something for me."
So I'm gonna opt in, and then which was smart by him because he could still get that 5-year, 200 whatever million next offseason with after the trade. So he opted in and helped the Clippers out. Well, I guess you could say he helped them out, got them some players back in the pick. But I'm interested to see how that works, though. How like they're going to change their games up because they both are like ball dominant players. So. I think, Harden probably will go more back to being a scorer maybe more than less facilitating. Let Chris Paul handle the rock and let him focus on scoring the ball more. And I see there's a bunch of names they're saying, Paul George, Melo. I even seen Paul Millsap, who I think would be a good move for them too. Paul Millsap, a lot of people sleep on him because he played in Atlanta. But
really solid all-around guy. Yeah. That's not coming in there to he's a hard-working guy, blue-collar guy that's going to come in there, man, really get his job done, man, and do what he does well. Defends, very underrated defender, and not going to cry for touches and whatnot, man.
Yep. So,
he definitely doesn't need to be a number one scorer to make an impact. Dude's going to rebound, defend, and can defend multiple positions. He can definitely come out there, man, and defend some of the wings and be able to help down low, man. And very humble, man.
He just want to win right now, man. He just tired of that the Clippers, man, has wasted his prime years. I believe they was just Blake getting hurt and them not having enough off the bench to help him beat the true elite teams in the West, but.
True that.
I like they got to keep their bench together though. Like they can't get rid of like all their bench guys, to try to get all these stars. They got to try to make a team if they want to try to run with Golden State and San Antonio. So I'm interested to see how they make these moves and how they try to bring Paul George in because the Bull Windhurst was like they had an offer on the table, but in the end they didn't like it. So I don't know if they're going to try to, up it or add another third team, to the deal. But if they can get another star and, like, keeping their bench together, that'd be a real major move for them. And they'd be able to run with, like I said, Golden State and San Antonio.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. I like it's difficult for me because I feel like, we've seen Harden at his best when he was able to be in this position to facilitate the rock. You know what I'm saying? Like being in this point guard role, which a lot of people were skeptical about. Like Harden, be a point guard. Like he don't like to pass. And here it is, like he flourished as a floor general. You know what I'm saying? Being able to, incorporate everybody in the offense and still be able to score his points. It was like crazy. He was like ridiculously efficient while they still was just playing great team ball. Now don't get me wrong, Chris Paul is the best floor general in the league, period. So he's never going to go to a team and then like be a problem as far as making players better. So I definitely think, you know what I'm saying, he's going to go there and probably even find, which could be scary, even easier looks for James Harden. You know what I'm saying? Because that's already a dude that can find his shot regardless. But, I mean, Chris Paul's going to set guys up. And then you just kind of got to look at those other guys and be like, yo, who is going to be the guy there that's going to end up making a big leap because Chris Paul is there? Because it's like, Chris Paul had Tyson Chandler averaging like 15 a game off dunks. You know what I'm saying? Like DeAndre Jordan looking like he can do something. So it's definitely, and I mean, it's a good defensive ad. I mean, because, Beverly's definitely a great defender. Chris Paul's first team All-NBA defender. So, and still can give you 18 and 10 a game. I just feel like, I just really feel like people have diminished or try to diminish Chris Paul's value based upon his playoff success when, again, he's not a score-first type of dude. You know what I'm saying? He can get you 25 a night if he want, and it still get you 10 assists, but it's just like that's not how he operates. He wants to get you 19 efficient points, play hard-nosed defense, compete at a high level, and really force people to be better around him. So, I think, it definitely was a good move. Like you said, they're going to need to get benched. They're going to need a LeBron James effect. Like when LeBron and those guys teamed up in Miami, you had those Battiers, Rashard Lewis, all those kind of guys that was Ray like, yo, I'm coming here, Ray Allen. I'll come here and play and take this lower money because I believe that this team really can win. Because, I mean, Chris Paul, it's easy to really fall in love with playing with Chris Paul because Chris Paul will get you the ball. Right. So I think guys really can seize the opportunity. And if guys really want to compete and say, you know what, man, to hell with Golden State, we want to go ahead and really make this thing competitive and even try to unseat them. Right. I think that it would be a good look for the league because, man, it's like, them three teams, Cleveland, Golden State, and San Antonio, man, they got the league monopolized right now, man. So
they really got that's really the clear cut top three teams in the league, and I don't see nobody. Well, like I said, see what Houston does. I don't see nobody challenging them. At least not next year. But like I said, we see what they do, whatever star they add. But I think the Millsap, because he's a free agent, so. I don't know how the money, the NBA get crazy with the money, the cap and all that. I don't know how they can work around it. But if they could try to bring him in without, trading anything, I think that would be a better move for them. Because also, you don't know if Paul George is going to commit. He talking about this LA stuff, so you don't know where his mind at. Like,
Millsap definitely sounds like a more sound
move.
Because
he a vet.
I think guys look at the names and don't think about fits. And I still think Paul George is still another ball dominant player.
Right,
like Paul George want to facilitate, bring the ball up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's not going to really work. Like you said, definitely going to change his game up. And I just don't really see that being conducive. And I like I said, I even see Carmelo Anthony as a better fit there than I actually see Paul George. And the reason why I'm stating it is because I think, again, Carmelo Anthony has a deadly mid-range game. So even if he had to beat a guy that you just kind of penetrate, dish, and kick him on the rock, and he's just called there to shoot that mid-range, he can pull that in his sleep. You know what I'm saying? Paul George is more of a creating it off the dribble kind of guy and getting into a rhythm with his shot. So it's like, I think Carmelo is like, just would definitely be a killer fit for them. And I think Chris Paul allegedly expressed it like a few days before that he really would like to play with Carmelo Anthony. So,
I mean,
it's something definitely to.
Something might be in the works.
Yeah.
But they said the Knicks, don't want to do that, do the buyout situation. They want to trade.
And I don't blame the Knicks for that. And I shout out the Pacers, too, because Paul George's value, man, you would think that, his value is diminished because they know pretty much is like almost a foregone conclusion that he's going to leave. And here it is. These teams are breaking their neck to go after him. You hearing about potentially the Cavs. You hearing about the Celtics. You hearing about Houston. And the Pacers ain't folding. Like, they ain't just taking anything. They saying, like, no, you got to come with it, especially after Jimmy Butler got the return that he got.
Right.
So they looking at Minnesota like, you know what, Minnesota brought some good value in. We ain't giving him away for peanuts.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think, you got to give Indiana credit, man, they front office. They playing hardball and they doing the right thing.
Yeah, absolutely. But I just think I think draft night should have been when they tried to pull the trigger, because you was able to get some young guys in there now, some guys that you liked in the draft.
Right.
But, because a future pick, if he going to Houston, that's really next 2 years. What is that going to be?
28.
Yeah. So it's like, you can get lucky and find a gem that late, but chances are, that won't happen. But I thought he was really gonna get moved draft night, especially because he just came out and said, "Yo, I'm out. I'm leaving next year." So now it's like, I don't know what they're really asking for, because I know Boston got the best set of assets to give. So I don't know what they're really asking for. To be honest, because it's not reported. I just keep saying, "Oh, they're in talks with so and so, and they're in talks with this team," but nothing is concrete of what they're looking for. So
no doubt,
I don't know, but
And shout out to my Knicks, man. Phil Jackson is gone, man. Phil Jackson is gone.
Ask you about that.
Oh, man.
Man. I was giving Phil credit, man, until I found out earlier that he ain't had nothing to do. Well, not nothing to do, but
right.
He wasn't
But
the
they
force
got
behind
games.
that KP and all that. And I was like, dang. You know what I mean? I was trying to give my man some credit. Man, he did something. He got him a superstar.
I mean, he had to pull the trigger. It's just like, you got to look at it like this, man. I think that it's still he still has a role to do with that, because it's just like most general managers don't necessarily do all the scouting. They hire scouts.
Right.
So they still have to ultimately make that decision, trust the voice or the opinion of the scouts, and say, you know what, this is the direction we gonna go, and be willing to take the hit. Because you know what I'm saying, the general manager is easy to take the brunt and get kicked out of town when things ain't going right. So they got the guy Clarence Gaines, who was like supposed to be like, they say he's like this real weird guy. They said he has this history with Phil Jackson since like the Bulls days.
Oh, okay.
And they was saying like, dude was really responsible, man, for like really, doing his homework on these international guys. And he was instrumental in bringing KP there. And they said like the guy literally goes to these like NBA workouts and stuff and really won't talk to other scouts. Like he just don't talk to people. Like they say looks weird, everything, but dude just goes there, don't say nothing to nobody. But they say that he's the one guy. And it's crazy because I read an article on it recently, and it was just saying he was the one voice that Phil Jackson really listens to. You know what I'm saying? So like Phil highly values his opinion. And I mean, he definitely was more so like the brain behind that. I don't like the fact that Phil has handicapped the Knicks as far as coaching. Once they decided to re-sign Melo, you don't bring veteran guys in there that are like Rose and them, and you say, hey, y'all been vets in the league, all-stars, proven players, but play my system.
Right.
Like, you're not the coach.
Crap,
you're the team president. You're not the coach.
Right.
So your job is to hire the best candidates. You had Tom Thibodeau out there. You had Mark Jackson out there. You know what I'm saying? Who's proven to be great coaches at a level in the NBA. And you passed them up to stick with like Derek Fisher, then to go ahead and give Kurt Rambis the job. And part of the reason why Kurt Rambis didn't get the full-time job was because the players did not like Kurt Rambis.
Right.
But you still kind of forced your way to keep him on staff because he was your buddy. So Phil had too much personal attachment to the job, which you can't mix. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he had too much personal, emotional ties to this triangle, and you don't have Kobe, Shaq, Michael, Scotty, or any of those guys there. Like Carmelo Anthony, very good player in the NBA, great NBA player, man, by the time it's said and done, but he's not on the caliber of those guys, and it still don't fit that system, period. That system's outdated with the spacing and the stretch fours and just the way that the NBA shifting. I mean, I think Hornacek wasn't that bad of a hire. You know what I'm saying? But again, you got to let him
do what
run.
he do.
Yeah, call that fast-paced type of offense that he likes to run, and you keep trying to throw wrinkles of the triangle in it. And that's why you had guys like Porzingis, an emerging young star in the league, man, the centerpiece of your team, and even your star player, your current star veteran, Carmelo Anthony. These guys are just ticked off all season long because it's just like, yo, this offense is like, get out
horrible.
here and figure out what y'all going to do. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
I think that it's a win for the Knicks. I also think that it's a win for Jeff Hornacek because Jeff Hornacek get to say, you know what, I got 2 years left. I get to really do my thing.
Do what I want to do.
And I think it's a win for Porzingis and even Carmelo Anthony. Like, if they end up keeping Carmelo, man, he end up staying there. You know, I think that, you know, ultimately that they get to really play and incorporate, you know what I'm saying, a style that they need to play. And I don't know, we'll see. I'm hearing the Knicks interested in Jeff Teague, you know, which, I mean, I'm not really sure if it's too much of an improvement over Derrick Rose. I think defensively it is. Because Derrick Rose really wasn't good defensively. He wasn't bad offensively. I'll give him that. You know what I'm saying? He still displayed his quickness at times. I mean, of course, he got hurt a little bit, and he went AWOL for the second. But at the same time, you know, I definitely think that Derrick Rose was, like, lacking totally on the defensive side of things, man. Which is why I do applaud the pick of the French kid, Frank, because the Knicks definitely need defense, especially if you keep Carmelo Anthony there. You're going to need to, you know, bring on a tougher defensive-minded point guard, and you still need a defensive, another long defensive guy that can defend multiple positions, which is what that kid gives you. You know, and
never had too many of them.
Never. So, yeah, man. Definitely glad, man. I woke up this morning praising God, man, that Phil Jackson was out of there, man. So,
yeah, that was strange. It looked like he was gonna keep his job for a minute, then it's like something just turned and they was like, yeah, they gonna part ways.
Dog, the week before the draft, they asked James Dolan about Porzingis, everything else. He told him to ask Phil.
Yeah, so it was like, yeah, he.
And then next thing you know, like 2 days after the draft, a few days after the draft, he's like, you know, bye, Phil.
Yeah, something must have went down that we don't know about. Maybe.
I think
had to change.
I think Dolan looked at it like this, man. You telling me to buy out my star for $54 million, and I only owe you $24 million, Phil. So I think we just gonna do. We just gonna
play
get
the numbers
this.
Game.
Yeah, play the numbers game, man. Not to mention you ticking off the best young prospect we have on this team since probably Patrick Ewing.
Right.
So like it makes absolutely no sense, man. You got a 21-year-old 7'3" guy that can dribble, shoot, dunk, and athletic, run the floor, defend the rim, like. Come on, don't make this more complicated.
It was weird because he was like, you know, we gotta set up moves for the future. I'm like, Porzingis 21.
That is the future, man.
What are you talking about? Like he, you know, it was just weird, man. Like he was just too emotional. Like the Bulls skipped the meeting and he was just talking about he was disrespected and all that.
It was about his pride. It literally was really about his pride, man. It all pointed back to Phil Jackson and his pride. His pride wouldn't let him go. Let him let go of the triangle. You know, and it was just like, yo, it's failed experiment, man. Failed experiment, dude. Like just come on, let it go. So I mean, he took $24 million with him. It made 60 altogether. So I know he ain't tripping.
He good.
Yeah, I know he ain't tripping.
Good living.
Absolutely.
But okay, on to the Sixers, man. Like you know, bringing Fultz into the town, that was a major move. You know, that was the guy, like, since Hinkie came, every year, the player that I wanted at the beginning of the year, we never got that player. Like, when it first started off, I wanted Wiggins. You know, Embiid broke his foot, you know, whatever, had the surgery. We got Embiid. Next year, you know, I wanted, what was the next year? I wanted D'Angelo Russell. That's what I wanted here. Didn't happen. Went to the Lakers, number 2. We got Okafor. Last year, everybody was, you know, Ben Simmons crazy. I was like, no, I want Brandon Ingram. We got Ben Simmons. But this year was the first year
that they got somebody you wanted.
Yeah, so it was like, dang, man, I wanted this dude all year. But I think he's going to bring like exactly what we need, like a guard that can play, he can score on all 3 levels. He can score, you know, get into the basket. He can score mid-range, and he can shoot the jumper. You know what I'm saying? Well, college-wise, we got to see how it translates to the NBA. But, like, his all-around offensive game is crazy, and his defensive potential is crazy, too. He was just in a bad situation out Washington, you know, went to Washington thinking he was going to play with the Marquise Chris and DeMonte Murray.
Yeah.
But they went to the draft, and, you know, he kept his commitment, you know, to the school, to the university and all that. But, you know, the 9 one. I mean, I can't name 2 players off that team, but like just watching his game, man, like what he'll bring is, like I said, exactly what we needed. Like a guard. We ain't have a guard like that since Allen Iverson. But you know, that's not saying much. But because the guards we had here hasn't been that great.
Iguodala.
Yeah, Iggy, man. And they also talk about they possibly may bring him back. Talking about free agency, bringing him back into the fold. But I don't know. But yeah, you get a 4-year Ben Simmons coming back this year. He's supposed to be the primary facilitator of the offense. Like kind of like how Draymond kind of sometimes facilitate out, or Greek Freak in Milwaukee. He's gonna be like that. I think it's gonna be an experiment because he never really did it before, and he gonna have some guys coming at him that it wasn't like at LSU. It's not gonna be like he was at LSU. He's gonna be going against the LeBrons, the Kawhis, the top level guys in the NBA. But I'm excited, man. First time I even got my season tickets back. Called the other day, got them back. I'm excited for the season. First time in a long time. And B, if he can stay healthy, you know what I'm saying, for at least 70 games, I think we should make the playoffs. Because I think all the talent we accumulated over the years, like we got a bunch of bench players. Now we finally starting to get the starters and the guys that's going to be, the stars of the squad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, all these years of developing the talent that we had. Well, not the talent, the players we had.
Yeah, and even if Dario is a sixth man, that's a hell of a sixth man. Cause he got skills, man.
Yeah, he another European guy, from overseas.
And they doing their thing right now. Like, I mean, I think
all of them.
I really think that, the European game has really, really caught up.
Like
all the way caught up. Because at one point they was the hype. So it was like people was just drafting a guy just because. Yeah. But like these guys literally be pros since they 16.
Yeah. And know how to play,
and not to mention they literally really like transcended their game. They took their game to another level.
Right.
Like, no, we're gonna dribble. We're gonna be able to shoot. Yep. And go at you. Like Jokic, you know what I'm saying? Like you got guys like him, Porzingis, Dario, you know what I'm saying? My man Mirotic from Chicago.
Yeah,
it's like, these guys really can play, and they're big body players that really can play, man.
Skill, like they work on their games over there. They develop everything over the European style game. So like you said, Dario, it's another young prospect. Like as the season went on, you just seen him get better, more comfortable. And his game progressed, and he should have won Rookie of the Year. But
he got a lot of tools, man, in his toolbox. He had a lot of skills in his toolbox.
And he's a humble dude, you know what I'm saying? So I think putting him on the bench is not going to be like, oh no, I should be a starter. I don't think, I don't think that's going to be an issue.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest issues the Sixers are going to have, because I agree with the majority of what you said, and I think the talent base is freaking amazing. I think one of the biggest issues the Sixers is going to have is really figuring out how to put it together.
Right.
Because Embiid, to me, was a little ball dominant. You know what I'm saying, when he was out there. And I mean, of course, he was out there with crap too when he was playing. Right. So, but I mean, Simmons is a guy that people saw that was going to like kind of facilitate me to point forward or whatever. And people really was like, yeah, he's not really a dominant offensive player, but a guy that might can get you like 18, 8 and 8 or something like that. Now, but you got Fultz, who really is a player that kind of really needs to like plays with the ball in his hand too. And I mean, I think, Fultz definitely like ceiling is like James Harden, you know what I'm saying? But that's still a guy that need the ball in his hand.
Right.
So like, how do, the personalities come together? And I know Embiid is kind of like really outgoing, but at the same time, does he become like the diva sort of, you know what I'm saying? When everybody starts playing together, you know what I'm saying? Because he kind of, like I said, because, I mean, don't get me wrong, he's a jokester and it's cool and his energy's dope. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, Shaq was kind of like the same way. But the ego still came out. Like, Kobe, I'm really the guy. You see what I'm saying? So I think that, and it's hard, it's tough, it's really difficult because you can see, like, even with Stephon Marbury, when he was playing with Kevin Garnett, you know what I'm saying? He didn't really feel like he was getting the same attention he deserved and the money.
Yeah, it was Stackhouse was here with AI.
Right. So it's like, that's the one dynamic that, you just got to hope that these guys really embrace, because otherwise they end up like the Thunder, where you got 3 great behind players and they just everywhere else, you know what I'm saying, instead of really flourishing together. Because what Golden State has is unique, man. It's very, very unique how their personalities are like different, but it's so team oriented and they don't put anything above the team.
Right, like a dude like Clay, you know what I'm saying, giving up his shots to Kevin Durant. I mean, it's Kevin Durant, but still, he he could say, I'm Klay Thompson.
He could say, I'm an all-star, I'm an NBA champ, and I'm in my prime. Like, I'm not about to take the back seat. And that's where Steve Kerr does an excellent job, at managing those personalities. And so that's why I'm saying,
gonna be
you
the
know,
key for Brett
and,
Brown to
and
see
then
what he
then
do.
it's like, who's the dog? Like Draymond is that dog, you know what I'm saying? It's out there that's defending and like, yo, this is really what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna be a star at being a defender and doing the dirty work. I don't care about getting to my 25 or whatever, or being the guy hoisting the shots up. So like that's where I think like the Sixers. And I think that, you know, like the coach is going to have to really help define that, you know what I'm saying? And then also, how does that translate? Because, you know, you really got an NBA where, you know, a lot of these teams that are dominating really aren't doing it through the big man.
Right.
And again, Joel Embiid is like really, you know, he can be a dominant big in this league for sure, you know, barring health or whatever. So it's like he's going to kind of want touches. So it's like, you know, which I still believe that type of game is still effective because the Spurs was doing it, even with Tim Duncan all the way into darn near 40 years old. But I think that, again, it's going to be a coaching thing. So I'm just anxious to see it all come together because I'm excited. I'm truly excited about the young teams that are really putting this talent together. Y'all, the Bucks that already has it. I love what the Timberwolves has done.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
I like what the Kings do it, man. The Kings, they put some talent together. But like I said, I tell people, like, this is a football town, of course, first and foremost, but like we haven't had a lot of good basketball. But when AI was here, it was like he was like the man. It was like him, Dawkins McNabb. It was like neck and neck. So like good basketball is always good for this city, man. So like I'm just excited that we can get back to that potentially. You know, hopefully, you know, make a little playoff run and see what we got. But free agency coming up. You know, we add a couple pieces here and there. You know, we're supposedly looking at J.J. Redick coming in and give us some shooting. You know, I don't know if they'll start him or come to bench.
That would be a great pick.
You know, yeah, absolutely. They said it's like the Nets, and there was another team, I forgot who it was.
Well, J.J. Redick's got sense. He choosing the Sixers over the Nets.
Right. But, you know, unless like a team like the Spurs or something come talk to him about trying to get a ring, then you know. So, you know what I mean? Maybe he want to take a pay cut and try to win a ring. But
true that.
If we can add a J.J. Redick here, man, that'd be major for Embiid, Fultz, and Simmons, because that'll open the floor up more, and teams will have to worry about that outside threat and let them do what they do.
I also think too, something that should be in consideration for the Sixers is adding a veteran point guard.
Oh yeah,
Because I think also like Fultz can easily be a 2 guard. You know, you can run Simmons at like the 3. You know, or even a stretch 4 if that's what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying? Or run Simmons at the 3 and had Dario at the 4. You know what I'm saying? And then still have Embiid there center, of course. But I think like having a vet point guard that will command the respect.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And literally, like, because, I mean, attitude aside, I think a guy that would be great for the Sixers would probably be like a Rajon Rondo. Like a guy that's going to defend and just pass the ball around. Like, you don't need him to score, and he knows scoring ain't his strength. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, as long as he ain't dribbling in circles and whatnot, and he passing the ball around and he moving around, he's a guy that literally, but I mean, again, his attitude's like a little iffy. So it's like you really want a vet, man, that's going to come there, play some good ball, man, and really like lead the team. You know what I'm saying? Like, can you imagine like Andre Miller playing for that team right now?
Right now,
like
yeah,
an Andre Miller, guy that's gonna be a staple. Get everybody the ball when they need it. Don't care about who crying for touches. Like, no, we gonna spread this thing around and win.
Right.
So, yeah, man, I think that like I said, I like teams. I definitely like the Kings. I like what the Sixers did. I like what Minnesota is doing, man. I think, man, Minnie really putting together something tough there, man.
And Jimmy with those two.
And then another team people gotta watch out for in free agency, man. They get a few players over there, man.
Yeah, that's another team that can get some shooters. You know what I'm saying? And open the floor up for
Jimmy
Cat.
and Wiggins.
Yeah,
man, that's tough. And Rubio played defense, and he passed the
ball.
So he ain't even a guy that want to shoot. That was Rubio's problem. Like, you forced him to play offense. It was all right, you in trouble. But now he's like, no, I'm just giving this thing up to these guys. So, yeah, man. And again, Tom Thibodeau got another year in there, and I think that, you know, he brought somebody else, a familiar star that knows his system, that know how he wants to play.
Right.
And
leader, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So he plays both sides of the ball, play hard every night. So that's something you would want in your locker room. So, you know, you will want Wiggins to follow him everywhere he go. You want Wiggins to turn into the type of player he is. And if you get Wiggins to his potential, you had them two in the wing. That's crazy.
Definitely crazy.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Crazy. I'm anxious to see what the Lakers gonna look like.
I want to see. I think Ball is gonna be. I think Ball gonna be. He's not gonna be a scorer, but I think he's gonna make everybody around him better, man. He just, you know, this the way he plays, like that up and down the game. I think I think had him fun to watch. I think.
Yeah, I don't think Ball is gonna be a great player. I think he'll be good, but I don't think he's gonna be great. And again, I told you before, I personally like, Fox, and I actually like Dennis Smith Jr. better before the draft. You know what I mean? I definitely don't. I don't think Ball is a great player to me. I just don't think he's going to be great. I kind of question his killer instinct. You know what I mean? Just when he's facing similar competition.
Right, okay.
Or top competition. See what I'm saying? And that's what scares me. Because I know a lot of people kind of caught up in the Ball hype and everything, but at that point guard position, it's some dogs at point guard in the NBA.
Deepest position in the league.
Yeah, deepest position in the league. So
every night is somebody.
And that's why I was saying this in like a separate group text. And like they kind of like, no, you tripping. And it's like, no, he's going to see Wall, who's going at him. He's going to see Westbrook. I don't even need to discuss that. Right. He's going to even Chris Paul. You know what I'm saying? Steph. Yeah. And even guys like
Lillard.
Derrick Rose and Dame Lillard. Man, Dame Lillard is like, to me, like Gilbert Arenas reincarnated. He will give you 60. You know what I'm saying? But, and again, so it's like you see these type of guys. And I mean, even the guys like Jeff Teague, the guys like Drew Holiday, like some of these guys who are really good point guards. And it's just like, I'm not sure Ball shows me. I mean, I look at, and I sometimes, and people might find it egregious, but I look at it kind of like Michael Carter Williams with a jump shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Carter Williams actually like really could play a little bit, but it just iffy jump shot. You know what I'm saying? And you sometimes don't see his intensity there all the time. So like, I think that's what kind of killed Carter Williams. But it's just like Ball. I don't really look at him as a good defender. And again, like I said, I just seen when Fox was going at him, it was just like,
and that's what he gonna be getting every night.
Yeah, that's what you get every night. And it's like, dude, it's like, yo, and I hate to do it, but it's like, Dad, like, you step on the court, you play that light-skinned dude, and he just kind of soft. It's like, you soft. like dude's literally out there taking his heart. And it's just like, I fear that might happen in the NBA.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because you got guys like Eric Bledsoe, you know what I'm saying? That's going to go right at him, and just with no remorse. And they going, and you got the hype, your dad's hyping you up. And it's just like, and it's just like these dudes going to want to embarrass you just because your pop talks so much.
Strength, right.
And he was telling about you was already better than Steph.
Curry,
you better than this and that. He talked bad about LeBron. Like, these guys going to be out here trying to embarrass you now and welcome you to the league.
Yeah, Kyrie, we even mentioned Kyrie. That's another one.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, but Kyrie may try to do
man, yeah, that's not even funny, man, what Kyrie do to him. So, and that's what I'm saying. Little Isaiah Thomas. Like, these are the guys he's going to have to guard. Dog, we literally named probably like 20 names just now. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not sure that if the going gets tough and the mockery that, like, not the mockery, but the ridicule and the pressure that the media is going to put.
Everything going to be on him.
Yeah, everything going to be on him. Them headlines and what people going to say. And I mean, even the guys from his own class, Dennis Smith Jr. going to give him buckets. He going to give him buckets. You know what I'm saying? Fox it already said, like, they have this rivalry within himself. Yep. Where his dad said they played twice and my son dominated him twice. Right. So it's like, yo, these guys in your own class, false. You know what I'm saying? It's going at you. So it's just like, man, but again, I do think he's going to be a decent facilitator. But again, I'm just like skeptical because I think that, every year the draft produces players like that where you thought that, he was great in college and you think he's going to transcend and you be like, damn, what happened? You look at your Michael Beasleys, you look at, and Michael Beasley was a guy that was dominating in Kansas State. He was a guy who really was out there, dropped 28, 15 rebounds, stuff like that, and just going off. Like, people thought he was like Carmelo version, part 2 or something. And it was like, nah, you don't. It just tailed off. So it's like you get those guys, and I think that he really might eventually kind of be one of those guys. You know what I'm saying? And the media can't wait to crucify you because they love capitalizing off his father and his father's antics because it's fun stories and it's good for them to talk about. Oh, but best believe they give you enough rope till you hang yourself. So you hang yourself. So like the moment he start getting outplayed, how do you respond back to that pressure? Then a sound bite, right in your dad's face, right in your dad's face, getting more sound bites to the point where eventually the rumors will start with the sources state that Lonzo is really tired of his father, and then boom, it's just so much to it, and I think people don't understand that or peep it. And they're going to make it like, oh, they just want to tear him down. And it's like, yo, this is what the media does. Why y'all acting like this is new? You know what I mean? They did it to LeBron. They did it to Michael Jordan. They did it to all these guys. And these other guys were like legit transcendent talents. So like this guy comes in and it's just like, Nah, I just don't think so. But
Yeah.
you know, and then you got to see how Ingram's going to turn out to be this second year. You know what I'm saying?
He got a lot to prove.
Yeah, he got a lot to prove. You got to hope
Magic saying he untouchable and all that. So we got to see what all the fuss
does
about.
it translate on the court, right? You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like for all that was made of D'Angelo Russell, like he actually did improve.
Yeah, I still don't understand why they tried to they
he
moved
still
him,
improved.
man. Yeah.
And again, it was like, you know, Ingram didn't necessarily show you that like, yo, he's really going to be a star in this league. You know what I mean? We watched some of the guys, Embiid, Porzingis, other guys such of that magnitude that have came in and kind of instantly show you. Right. It was like Ingram kind of left a lot to be desired. Like, okay, all right, I can see what they see in him. But, and I mean, he's still very young, don't get me wrong. But still in all, it's like, you know, you got to hinge your bets on some of that. You know what I mean? Julius Randle, another guy, got to get in shape and stuff like that. And it's just like, you know, so – I mean, it's gonna be interesting. Lakers freeing up some money. They brought Brook Lopez in there, you know, who was not bad. I mean, shoot, you got Mozgov
out of there. I don't know what that contract was about.
And Brook Lopez in there, so that's instantly an upgrade. Instantly upgrade. So that's a solid vet that definitely can score for you.
Yep.
Somebody ball can get the ball too. And again, we got to see. I think Ingram's the wild card. Like he's like not the wild card, but the X factor.
If he takes the game next level, they got a nice young nucleus. If he takes that next step.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, NBA, you know, a lot of young talent coming in, you know, and it seems like all these guys are, you know, from reports, are hard workers that want to be great. You know, we'll see. The time will tell, you know, but
yeah, so they start cashing them NBA checks.
Right.
And start getting those girls.
Right,
you know, start hitting the Instagram models, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and all that. Right.
And hanging with the rappers
and all that, yeah, because
yo, folks, please don't start hanging with Meek Mill and those guys, man.
Stay away from them dudes,
stay
man.
Focused, man. You know what I'm saying?
Stay over in Camden, man. Stay in the complex in Camden, dog. Stay away from all that nonsense, man. Please, the city needs you, man.
Yo, wait, what happens with Okafor?
I don't know. I think they said I seen a tweet from one of the NBA insiders. They was like they believe, you know, him having more playmakers around with Fultz and Simmons, that'll help his game as well, because, I mean, he can definitely score the basketball very well. You know what I'm saying? But I think his situation, like, people fail to realize that these guys are human. So, you know, it's a human element to it. Like, if you keep hearing, the team, really not high on them. Got you in a
trading block.
I put it like it's like you meet a girl and she got an ex-boyfriend who, in this case, is Embiid. He doing her wrong, so you come along and, you know, you doing your thing, y'all having his rookie year, y'all having a nice time. But then the ex comes back in the picture. It's like, oh, all right, we'll move to the side, man. I'm back with him now. You gonna feel some type of way,
right?
You know what I'm saying? So,
and your enthusiasm for
you're not gonna be out there
and everything else, right?
you're not
putting the same forth the same effort. That's a good point. That's a great illustration.
I don't think people understand that. They keep, he's a bum. No, he's a third pick in the draft, man. He got talent. But he just don't want to be. He don't feel wanted. So, I mean.
And I also think, but that's a great illustration. And I actually use the same thing when referencing Carmelo Anthony. I feel like, you know, Melo has still shown, like, yo, I can play. I can get 23 for 24 a night easily, you know, still get 7 rebounds, probably 3-4 assists. But at the same time, I'm not about to break my neck for a team that's.
Then you got the fans booing you. They booing them last year?
Yeah, I'm not about to break my neck for a team that's basically about to win 30 games, 35 games. A president that's like stupid and just doing what he's doing, saying what he's want to say for this team right now.
Saying all kind of straight stuff about me in the media.
And it's just like, you know, knowing that pretty much like I need to even be preserving myself so when I do go somewhere else, like I can give it 150%. So that's why I think that like if the Cavs or even like, you know, this Houston move, I think, man, Carmelo Anthony going to get this change of scenery. I think you're going to see. Because, I mean, for one, you see him on his Instagram and whatnot. Dude is in great shape, always working out. He always working out, out relentlessly. So it's like you can't even say like he's lazy, you know, or fat or anything else. Like the dude literally he works to perfect his craft.
Right.
I just think that, you know, he started looking up saying we ain't challenging no Cleveland, you know what I'm saying? Or shoot, even Toronto at this point. Like, what am I really?
Right.
Yeah, like, and not to mention the way that the management going about everything and this triangle and letting this guy get away with it. Why do y'all think I'm about to go out here unless I want a stat pad or try to be Russell Westbrook every night? You know what I mean? It's like, what am I really about to do all this for? So I think that, you know, you definitely see a lot of that in the NBA, especially with, you know, the super teams and the teams just like really just winning. Guys are looking up saying like, yo, all right, I'm going to do what I can, but I'm not about to like go overkill,
Right,
overdrive.
right.
Again, their bodies is still what makes the bread for them.
Right,
so
right.
that's a great point. And I think Okafor definitely needed to change the scenery.
like,
the guy come in average 18 and 8, 18 and 9 his rookie year.
Right.
It just befuddles me that how the Sixers just act like suddenly
he's a bum.
Yeah, like he's Greg Oden or something. I'm like that's crazy to me.
Like you're not gonna get your full effort if you telling the guy like last year was a before game. They said he was down there shaking hands with everybody. He thought he was traded. The trade didn't go through. All right, now you back. So it's like it's just weird now. Like he was out the rotation for a couple games. It was just like, what do you expect to do? And he's still a young kid, man. He's 20 years old, 21 years old.
Right.
So he, you know what I'm saying? He like, man, the hell with this. Y'all not gonna treat me like this and disrespect me like this for this dude that can't stay healthy. You know what I'm saying? That's probably what his thought process is.
And I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree with him on that. And I proved that I can really play play a whole season.
Right.
And give you toughness down low, rebound, and on my post game is polished.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I really think that, everything you're saying, you absolutely 150% on point with. My only caution to him is, although he's not hearing this, of course. I mean, hopefully one day he will. But I mean, my only caution to him is that he just makes sure that he don't allow that to stop him from working out and working on his game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like sometimes, you can get discouraged to the point where you're not putting enough work in. And next thing you know, when it's time to get the second contract opportunity or you land with another team and kind of trying to prove yourself, it's like, you know what I mean?
Right.
You don't elevate your game. So then teams really are like, okay, the book's out on him. This is just who he is.
Right.
So he don't want to be known for that. So, I would just hope that people around him are encouraging him like to just keep grinding, keep perfecting his game, and just knowing that when he do get opportunities, he's auditioning for other teams. So do his thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I said, the talent is definitely there, man. It's just, you're not gonna get your full effort if a team is treating you the way they treated him last year. And people don't understand that he's not a bum. He's a good player, man. We seen what he could do his rookie year,
bro. Cause I remember me and you was like, yo, man, like we was laughing because we was like, yeah, man, your Sixers and my Knicks really stole the best players in the draft.
Right.
You know what I mean? Well, Cat there, so right. I mean, but like, yeah, like yo, we really both made out.
You're right.
Yeah,
you know
and this is something we look forward to debating for a while. And then it's like Sixers just went ahead and B said my foot's better, and then just all of a sudden it was like, all right, Josh, sit down.
Yeah, like we don't need you no more. It's like, damn, like, you know what I'm saying? It's a human element to this thing, man. These dudes not robots. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, your feelings get hurt a little bit. You're like, man, I'm not trying hard no more. I'm not gonna go for that rebound. So that's why people, he's not a good rebounder. He's not good this. He's not good that. Listen, man, the bull from high school through college, he was just a winner and he was dominating. So that skill didn't go away.
I'm gonna say, the majority of people forget, man. Majority of NBA players are actually skilled enough to play in the NBA.
Hey, right.
What it comes down to is effort,
right?
And that's why oftentimes, like, I don't really argue skill,
right?
When we talk about greatest of all times and stuff like that. My argument is effort and commitment. These guys don't have effort. They don't bring effort every night.
Right.
They're not committed. These guys cry about, wanting to rest and everything else. And it was like AI was out there 40-something minutes a game. Michael Jordan, 40-something. These dudes leading the league in scoring, steals, making all defensive and all defensive team and all NBA team, and yet like wasn't sitting there sitting whole games out and whatnot. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, again, man, effort, competitiveness, and everything else is like that's lacking. So it's like, yeah, you can see, guys with this flashy ability be able to do these crazy dunks and, can shoot a three from 40 feet out sometimes and it looks good. But at the same time, man, if the commitment and effort not there, you know what I'm saying? And I think sometimes, like, even with LeBron James, I think that sometimes, like, his level of commitment and his level of competitiveness, even though I don't really believe it's like on a level of Magic and MJ and whatnot, but I believe that it's better than majority of the players in his league today, which is what also pushes and propels him. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, which is why you see a lot of those signature blocks where he goes chasing a guy down from behind and swatting it off the backboard. It's like, yo, he didn't give up that play.
Right.
Like, y'all sitting here thinking y'all about to take this layup line drill and come down court thinking it's sweet, and he coming right down there and he's sending it across the glass. So it's like, yeah, man, these guys, like, some of them just can't wait to just go to the club and be out somewhere. And it's like after the game. And it's like, yo, these games really don't be affecting these players. They just be like, oh, it's just a game, and we still bros off the court. And it's like, no, man, MJ, Barkley, Isaiah, them guys like really didn't like some of them really had real beef. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So That's just what it is, man. But we gotta move on, man. We gotta get to our football talk, man.
Yeah.
So let's talk this top 100 players thing, man. So we ranked our players, y'all. You know what I'm saying? And y'all can go listen to the previous episodes where we talked about our top 10 rankings, man. We did offense skill players, we did defensive players and whatnot. We even gave some of our predictions, man, for like rookie of the year and MVP race and offensive player of the year and everything else. And I think it's great, man, that after we put our rankings out there, man, and we know that me and Jeff got a little tense, man, about our rankings, man, when we was kind of going back and forth on some things. And I think it's dope that we get to be able to look back, man, at some of the top 100 players lists from other people's rankings and whatnot. So I kind of want to get into that, man. Jeff, we'll talk about the NFL players, the NFL Network joint. Some of the things that shocked you the most.
I think Jenkins being as high as he was, what was he, like 91, I think it was, 90? Malcolm Jenkins, I think that was kind of crazy. That kind of threw me off. And also Leonard Williams not being on the list, from the Jets. That was kind of crazy. He's one of the best defensive linemen, young guys in the league. And even though we also we signed him, but LeGarrette Blount was like number 80. I don't think he, I hope he plays like that this year, but I don't think he's the 80th best player in the league. So it's like this, they say, they give the list out in locker rooms and they fill them out and they bring it up somehow, but it's hard to gauge this list, man, because it's like, I don't know how they going about it. Like the top 10, of course, is, when you get to the top 20, 30, it's more, but
a little more evident.
Yeah, after that, it's like, it's just weird to me. Like, I don't understand how because they had Ha like 77. He's not a better safety than Malcolm Jenkins, but, it's just, I don't know.
I will say this, man. One of the things that I think, man, with this list, I think, I think players may not really do enough evaluating players individually.
That's true,
too. I think players kind of, they probably pay attention to system schemes and tendencies of teams that they play. You know what I'm saying? I do think that you probably see more defensive players watching how quarterbacks process stuff, so they can learn. But like on a league-wide scale, I also think that they also too may come more so from a limited lens of players that they play and they face. Because I even saw it was leaked. Eagles players, when y'all filled out cards, Eagles players had Dak and Zeke ranked high, and it's just like, again, I think that it comes from familiarity with the players that they've actually got to see or play in person. So sometimes when, I'm not sure how many players it was they surveyed, maybe it's 100 players and they just ask for their opinions, from various teams, or whether they ask for maybe 10 players from each team to fill it out, and we don't even know which particular players it could be. For all we know, it could be 10 scrubs. But I mean, they do put some good players in there to break some players down. So I think that, that is a process that I would love to really hear more about. And I think they've tried to explain it sometimes, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't think that I really paid too much attention to it. But I will say this, man, ranking the top 100 is always hard. Anytime, it's gonna come it's gonna come with is tension, it's gonna come with disagreements and everything else. Which is why I kind of wanted to, reference off some of these three lists. Pete Prisco recently dropped his top 100.
Yeah, I seen that.
PFF, they made a top 50. And then you got the NFL networks. The thing that really stood out to me, I will say this: Dak Prescott at 14 was too high.
Oh yeah, come on.
And I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say that I clearly
it's
too
the quarterbacks he was ahead of.
Clearly too high to me. For him to be up ahead of Breeze, not too much ahead of Breeze. They had not too far ahead of him. Russell Wilson, Ben Roethlisberger. Those are guys that I don't have him ranked currently ahead of. I did have him as my 10th my 10th quarterback. Which, so again, it's not too egregious to me that they had him on a list, because I definitely had him ranked as my 10th guy, me personally. And I also say this: I think depending on the list, it depends on a person's personal positional value. See what I'm saying? So, like, dig, if the top 100 players on the NFL Network's rankings, right? 3 out of the top 3 out of the top 12 were all running backs, which I think is amazing. And I actually agree with it because I'm fond of the running
they
back
control the
position.
game, you
and
know what I'm
yeah, right. And I think so. And they had Zeke there. So and I had Zeke actually as my top back when we did our positional ranking. So they had Zeke at the top. They also had Le'Veon Bell at 9. So Zeke was at 7. Le'Veon was at 9. David Johnson was at 12.
Right.
So those 3 guys again, like
Same 3
part
guys.
of same 3 guys. We had that discussion before, and clearly as you see, like they're in the top 12. So like everybody has that, and again it can switch, it can rotate. And then Pete Prisco had, I think 3 of them in the top 20. And he had Zeke as his highest. Then he had David Johnson, maybe like 2 picks later. Then he had Bell. You know what I'm saying? So again, that's somebody else who had Zeke as a top player. But then you got a list where PFF got Zeke at like 45th. You know what I'm saying? And the running backs aren't really like all in the top 12, top 15. So again, I think it comes down to positional value, what the person's grading system is. But I think that Dak was definitely too high. For me personally, because of the value of the quarterback position, all top 10 of my quarterbacks would make the top 50. And I think Dak would be somewhere in that range for me, being as though he is my 10th best quarterback in football. So my top 10 QBs would go in the top 50. That's just me putting that on record. But Dak's definitely not a top 15 player in this league at this point.
Not right now.
Not at this point right now.
So
I ain't with that. They left Jordan Howard off the list.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That was just crazy. So to have LeGarrette Blount there. To have LeGarrette Blount there and not Jordan Howard, was just crazy to me. I am happy and proud because at one point in my life I played running back, so I'm like I love the running back position. I love safety, but I'm happy to see that they really giving the running backs the respect they do. One of the things I didn't understand was, man, this NFL top list, man, they had Chandler Jones, all the way down the list, man. And the guy had a great season. So he was ranked 85th, and the year before he was ranked 48th.
He had a better year.
Yeah. It's like but I'll say this too. I think that they equate also like winning into it. You know what I'm saying? I think that they equate like the player's season, personal season, and I also think the players look at the winning of the teams, and I think that they look and say, "Yo, man, these guys really was doing good." Because like, of course, he lost the Patriot effect.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now he goes from the Patriots, it Pats to
Arizona.
To Arizona, and Arizona don't have a good year. And it's like boom. So players kind of just didn't rank him where he needed to be ranked. But then I think from their perspective, they can be like, yo, we understand the game better than y'all too, and we really know the level of difficulty that's going on.
Right.
So I think that they can say the same argument to like the film junkies and the stat geeks and whatnot. Like so it's like a just an ongoing battle. But I will say so I didn't like the fact that Travis Frederick was so low on the list, like 87th. For him to be such a dominant player up front, having given up a sack in like 2 years. Clearly the best player at his position. I definitely think, that, and I really think he's like the leader of the offensive line. Tyron Smith, of course, is the best player on the offensive line, and that's even subjective because you can possibly make the argument for Zach Martin. But, but I definitely think that, that was crazy. I was also it was a little weird to me to see Tyreek Hill so high. And that's another thing too. So Bosa was 100 on the list.
Yeah.
And I see, PFF had Bosa like top 15 or something like that. And I think Prisco had Bosa higher on the list as well. So it's just like, again, it's interesting to see.
Yeah, so I'm like, I don't understand how NFL Network, how they do theirs. It's just like, I don't know if they just put them all together and be like, okay, the guys that got the most votes and go like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't, they really don't tell us how they really, really break it down. Because I heard, I seen about 2 years ago, a couple Eagles reporters was like, players were just putting any kind of crazy names in there. So they was like, I wouldn't take too much stock.
Wouldn't even take it serious.
Right. They were saying this about 2 years ago when it was coming out, when some Eagles fans outraged that some guys wasn't on the list. They was like, well, the players I seen, they don't take it serious. They was putting down dumb names, and some guys wasn't even doing it, and so it's like, I don't know how they go about theirs, but like like at least like a Pete Prisco, he'll break it down and tell you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Pro Football Focus, they'll tell you, even though I may not agree with it, but they'll tell you. NFL Network just like, all right, here's the list, and here's the.
Well, I will say to their point, to their argument though, they will have players that will go ahead and break down.
Right.
They will have players that will vouch for these players. You know what I'm saying? Which I thought was kind of cool because it was like even listening to Kirk Cousins really break down like certain points of the game where they like Dak Prescott, they were playing against Dak and the Cowboys, and he was literally like, yo, he made these crazy throws. You know what I'm saying? So I do think it's interesting, but you're right though. And even for Pete Prisco, a guy like him, for him to be so anti, like everybody knows he's like, don't take a running back high. But for him to put Zeke up there as his number one back and even the other two backs to be up in that top like 15, 20 range, all three of them, I think that it still pay. He's a guy that's showing you that he's willing to step outside of some of his stances. You know what I'm saying?
And I think his art. He was on radio here about 2 months ago. He was explaining it. He's like, well, he think Zeke is a great player, of course, but he was like, if I'm picking fourth, I want the best long term. And he's like, a corner or a left tackle or quarterback could give you more years, like on an average, than a great running back would. So I think that was his thing, like not saying that he's not going to be a good player, but just talking about the long-term view. Like, so he was kind of bringing it down like that. Like, he was like, I will take Ramsey for, I'll have Ramsey for 10 years and maybe Zeke at 7 years. So I'm playing it like that. So that's how
that's definitely that definitely could be a valid point, but it's also like some of the great backs that we really talk about, like that elite category guys that we talk about that really got taken. Yeah, those guys got the tenure. You know what I'm saying? Frank Gore been in the league for a long time, and he wasn't even he was projected before injury. You know what I'm saying? Injuries is what kept him down. But even Willis McGahee, he had a long time in the league. Like you said, Shady had a long run. You know what I'm saying? Marshawn Lynch, had he not took seasons off, you know what I'm saying? Like, he definitely still would have had his tenure going on. So it's like those kind of guys though that are considered like can't miss. We know it's the guys like Trent Richardson who just never really panned out. But for the most part of it though, those kind of backs we talking about, and even just historically, Tiki Barbers and guys of that nature, you know what I'm saying? Emmitt Smith, Curtis Martin, some of these guys, work done, right? These guys played long time. So I think, again, you just got to look at the caliber of back. And I think that even David Johnson looked like he's going to be around for a long time. You know what I mean? And it's like you got corners, too, who fizzle out, lose their confidence, and don't be the same, don't have long tenures, and also get hurt, too, as well. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you got guys. So it's like that argument with the NFL draft is so weird.
Just get good players, man.
Right, absolutely.
As long as he's not a kicker.
Absolutely. Because again, it's like every argument that a person tries to bring up, you can bring up bust at every other position.
Everywhere.
Yeah, because folks be like, yo, you go grab these tackles who's supposed to be
Robert
protectors.
Gallery, remember him? The boy Greg Robertson.
Come on, man.
The Rams just traded.
The Rams just,
You know what I'm saying? Jason Smith, the bull from Baylor,
Luke
the Rams
Jockle.
took. Yeah, all them. You know what I'm saying?
Like, yo, you really draft these guys.
And they're supposed to be safe,
Supposed to be safe picks, right? Great pass protectors and all of that. Guys you can put on the end or on the outside for 13 seasons. This is what they'll tell you. And it's like those guys never really, so it happens with everybody.
Bust,
and it's about fit, and it's about the caliber of player you believe you're taking. So you know what I mean? Like, you can easily say, yes, I could get Jalen Ramsey, but at the same time, what does a Ramsey do if you're like, hey, we got Ramsey? Morris Claiborne was supposed to be a can't miss prospect, and what happened then? People applauded Dallas for that that trade up. You know what I'm saying?
The highest rated since Deion.
And everything else, and a lot of people was like, he's a playmaker. He's a guy that's going to get interceptions. Because Ramsey wasn't a playmaker like in school. That was one of the things people kind of knocked. Like, yo, he didn't really get a lot of turnovers, and is he like a safety or is he just more of a corner? But people didn't take away from his game. They knew he had ability to really shut guys down. But again, it's just like, so then you say, do I take a guy fourth that's not really going to get me turnovers like that either? That's not going to make game-changing plays. You see what I'm saying? So it can go a multitude of ways. But, again, I just think that then you look up and say, well, how does a guy really impact or really dominate a game? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's like, do you think Ramsey literally would have been the answer for Dallas last year as far as dominating that game and bringing that physicality
Especially
to the
without
game?
a pass rush.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
especially
saying?
without a pass rush too. So it's like, again, and then Dallas just made some very good moves as far as bringing in the draft this year to bringing some good young talent in there at the cornerback position. So, I mean, again, it's just a matter of preference and positional value. But I do hear Pete Prisco's argument. Yes, certain teams are good at finding running backs late, but you can look throughout many teams in the league, and they've been. Yeah, I'm about to say they've been through about 3 or 4 or 5 backs over the last 2 years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And every year it's this guy. Oh, be on the lookout. You know, sometimes those running backs come out of nowhere, and it's like, no, teams don't always hit on them all the time either. So, you know,
I mean, like when you smart like that, I mean, you can make an argument for anything, you know, football related. So that's what he's doing. And like I said, at the end of the day, ultimately, you know, just time will tell. You know what I'm saying? We'll see in the next 3-4 years how it go, and you know, we can't predict the future. We just, you know what I'm saying? We just project. So, I mean, we'll tell eventually. But also that PFF top offensive lines.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, you know I don't like the site because they be Eagles craze all off season, man. I don't retweet it or nothing. So you know what I mean? Like I don't understand their grading system. Like it's just like they try to explain it to you, but you know what I'm saying? I just don't understand it. But you know what I'm saying? They had the Eagles number 1.
They create their own grades, man. Like you just you know, offensive linemen get ranked for like times he caught a guy looking at the quarterback.
It's like I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like they had us at number 1. You know what I mean? Like I said, I think we have, especially if we stay healthy, I think we have a top 5 offensive line. But I wouldn't say we're the best offensive line in football. You know what I'm saying? Like not especially with Kelsey being a liability. I believe in the middle. I don't think we can be the best offensive line in football. But then they had y'all 9th in Oakland, who I think right now on paper is the best offensive line. Oakland, they had them at 7th.
You think Oakland over Dallas?
Yeah, because I think with y'all right now is, I mean, y'all got 2 new starters that we haven't seen play in them positions on this level yet. So I think time will tell. What y'all got? Chaz Green supposed to be playing left guard.
Yeah, they got
and he was the tackle y'all picked.
Even though I think Cooper's gonna win the position.
Yeah,
I think Jonathan Cooper gonna win.
You know what I mean? And Lyell, he was nice at left guard, but playing tackle. I mean, it's good to do it at LSU, but playing, and especially the season on who we got on our schedules, the pass rush team we going against, it's gonna be a test. So I at least want to see how he does fare out there on the island by himself. But it's definitely, I definitely got y'all number 2, my personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, to have both of y'all so low on the list was just weird, and you know what I'm saying? Like, it just didn't make any sense to me. But that's Pro Football Focus for you, because I don't understand them for real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because they had us number 1, Cleveland, who made some good additions. They got a good offensive line. They had them number 2, Pittsburgh number 3, Tennessee number 4, Chicago number 5, Atlanta 6, Oakland 7, Green Bay 8th, y'all 9th, Buffalo 10th. That was like you know what I'm saying? But I don't agree. Like, I will shuffle some of them around. Like I said, I'll put Oakland up there, number 1, y'all number 2. I even like Washington's offensive line. I don't know why people don't mention them a lot, because they got I think Trent Williams is arguably the best left tackle in the league. They got Sharif, the guard, Moses. You know what I'm saying? They got they got a nice solid offensive line. Nobody really talks about them a lot, and that's part of the reason Kirk Cousins have so much success, because he's protected. You know what I mean? But
I think, but also a lot of what you said, and even some of their rankings, man. Like, they got y'all there number 1. They got Cleveland number 2. Cleveland does have a very nice offensive line. I think with the additions too that they brought in there, I think that they really can improve. So I'm not too mad at them about having Cleveland up there.
But they didn't have crazy teams. You know what I'm saying?
But
it's just
but not at 2 though, because they still got to actually show it.
Right?
You know what I'm saying? So
like I said with y'all,
I still think that Dallas having, again, like, even if you said you like Trent Williams, but Dallas got 3 guys you can make a
top one or
legit
two.
argument, right? Top 1 or 2 on the same offensive line.
Right.
And again, Lyle just, his athleticism, he has speed. He's a mauler, like he's physical, and he played tackle his whole career, except when he came to Dallas. He actually got pushed to guard because Dallas just had other guys there already.
Right.
So I mean, I think that it's going to be a seamless transition. That's my opinion. But I can understand why you might be like, yo, all right, I'll take Oakland #1. But I also say this, then this also goes into the argument of the running backs, right? And this just goes to show you the Cowboys hate bias too on the flip side, because you got some of these teams up here that was on this list. You got your Pittsburgh, you have your Chicagos, you know what I'm saying? You have your Tennessees. All these guys had great running games. You got Philadelphia, you have Cleveland up there. They didn't have great running games. You know what I'm saying? Where it shows you that the talent also in the backfield does matter. You see what I'm saying? Like these guys literally still have to go ahead, find those holes, maneuver, and do what they need to do.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And really make those plays. Because again, some of these top offensive line definitely up there. Atlanta Falcons, they got them up there. You know what I'm saying? Running game had major success. You know what I'm saying? Freeman and all those guys. Even the Raiders to have a great offensive line, the running back position doesn't produce as well because the running back's not as good.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So when people are like, oh, well, Zeke just got a line, it's like, yo, all these other backs got lines. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can't sit there and just be like, yo, quit the narrative that like, yo, this person Zeke just has
consistent with it.
Yeah, be consistent, right? Because it's a lot of good offensive line. It's like, offensive line play has gotten better over the last couple years. You know what I'm saying? For a while, it struggled. So there's good offensive line out here. You need good players, though. You know what I'm saying? So, like Cleveland, even last year, Cleveland still had a good offensive line. You know what I'm saying? They got good pieces there, and people can't confuse that. But still in all, quarterback wasn't as good as other quarterbacks was in other places. You know what I'm saying? So the talent does matter, people. You know what I mean? Protection can only do but so much.
Right. You got to make the throws. You
got to make the reads. Got to make the throws. Get
to the second level.
There you go. And again, have yards after contact and everything else.
All that
like that stuff matters. It all matters. So no, I'm with you, bro. And again, like, I can't even be too combative because, again, Oakland has a really good offensive line. I have them as the second best offensive line behind Dallas. But, I mean, you can flip-flop them. And even, like you said, your concern with that could still be legit about just waiting to see Lyle, really play right tackle first. But, again, like I said, I think that's just his natural position anyway.
Right.
I think, if anything, they was kind of forcing the transition to guard, which is why Leary did it more, at a much easier pace to me. At the guard position, because it was like, yo, he's been a guard and he's been playing a position for a while, so it was just like natural for him to come in there. I mean, Lyle had speed, crazy speed, so he can reach that next level, which I think he'll be able to take advantage of at tackle going against guys. So, but again, we gonna see. But on the flip side of that, man, I think that PFF, they're like, I don't know, they're like my last resort. I really don't care too much.
I don't read them, man. Like I said, they've been giving us so much, like Eagles this, Eagles that. Like they've been showing us love, but I just don't, I don't, what I'm saying, believe in what they grade, and it's just too complicated, man. And like Jay-Z said it best, man. Just because you understand it don't mean it's nice. I don't understand it, so it don't mean it makes sense. It don't mean it's right. I just don't, so I stay away from it, man.
They get real scientific. You know what I'm saying? They get real scientific on you, man, and create all.
And they have so much input when they really don't know, like, exactly what the play is. You know what I'm saying? So they can't really give you a detailed. You know what I'm saying? Like the way they go about it. Like, oh well, we're premium service, and you don't really know at the end of the day, like what that play was called, and you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like
I'm with you on that.
I mean, but hey, I don't like the hustle though, man. They making money.
Oh, they killing it. Yeah, they killing it, man. They hiring folks, everything, man. They killing it, man. So they definitely killing it, man. So, man. So I think, man, again, overall, man, I think one thing we need to learn in closing, man, is that these top 100 lists, these ranking lists, man, they all gonna look different, man. I think one thing it shows is that people are gonna stick to their values of how they rank positions, how they rank players. And it's always good and fun to talk about because then we get to look back at it next year, or during the year, and be like, yo, this is what you said. Right. So like, yo, we really believe in holding each other accountable, man, to this stuff, man. I will say I think NFL Network got it right because I will say that Zeke Elliott to me is a top 10 player in this game right now. I really believe that. I do believe that. They got him 7th. And I do believe that, to me, like going forward, he's really going to be the best back in this league. But and that's just me being truthful because I've said it consistently just throughout a lot of stuff we talked about. But again, we're gonna see, man. The season gonna unfold, man. We'll be back in a couple weeks. Coming back to y'all, man.
Training camp.
Close to the training camp, man. We're gonna give our training camp predictions, man. We're gonna break down training camp, man. How we gonna preview it, give our thoughts.
What we trying to see, what we wanna see.
What we think the top 5 positional battles is gonna be in training camp.
Right.
And what to look forward to. And we'll talk and discuss any more football news that's going on, man. So, again, man, we thank y'all for tuning in tonight, y'all.
Yes.
Appreciate y'all. Well, not tonight, but whenever you decide to listen. There we go.
Appreciate it.
We gave y'all some basketball analysis because we can do that too. We can really talk all sports, but we really love the game of football, man, and really gonna break this thing down. Look forward to giving y'all more takes, man. Can't wait to start talking during the year when the games start.
Even the preseason game, man. I'm ready for training camp. Period. Like,
no
you
doubt.
know what I'm saying? Just to see, with the pads on, see some real football. You know what I mean? Like just to hear the stories and go to these live practices. You know what I'm saying? And just to see for myself what it's looking like, man. It's to have football back. It's under a month away, man.
Yeah, do come soon, football. Come on, let's go. Let's get this thing going. But yeah, man, so we definitely appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. Again, follow my boy, man.
Philly Frack 215, man.
Man, I'm Pastor Carl Day, yo. We out of here, Troll Free Sports, man. Shout out to y'all for listening, man. Thank y'all. Appreciate it, man. Share it and subscribe and
text it in your group text and just tell your
and
uncles.
And tweet us, man.
Let us know.
You don't agree, disagree, then come holler at us. Let us know you listen. Peace.
Absolutely.